my beautiful people, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to communicate or connect with your guides, with different spiritual beings, angels, demons, deities, galactic beings, whatever it is you want to communicate yourself with. First of all, you have to clear your head. You can't be rushing things. You need to be in the present moment, all right? At least while you're mastering that communication or learning what works for you and how to actually start that communication every single time, all right? So you need to sort of self-discover that way of communicating yourself with your guides. So the easiest thing you can do is breath work. You need to work with yourself. You need to see how you can sort of clear your head from whatever is happening up there, from stress, from anger. You need to detach yourself from your day-to-day life if you want to go in a very deep conversation with these beings. It's not that you can't do it while you're rushed or stressed. You can, but it's easier to identify the voices or the energies of the beings that you are trying to communicate yourself with, because otherwise you can confuse it with your ego or with your own voice or imagination, and you want to make sure it's the energy, it's a communication with that being or beings. So do the normal breathing technique, the meditation. You can light up incense to help you. You can use crystals to enhance that connection. You don't need that, but it can help, as I always say. So you may want to start learning the voices or the energy. Try to identify what the energy is like, what the voices is like, what they make you feel. And you'll start developing that the more you talk to them. As many other intuitive readers say, it's a very subtle voice. It's a soft thing. It comes to give you advice or help or answers. It doesn't come to you to scare you. It doesn't come to you to make you feel bad. No. So that's one way you can sort of identify what's there to help you and what's there just invading your space or tricking you. That is something that you need to pay attention to as well. The trickster energies or spirits, be aware of that. So that is why you need to learn to identify your guide's energies or your guide's voices. At the same time, we have many guides through our lifetime. Some are very temporary, some are permanent, some are our guardian guides or angels, some are just teachers or ancestors or angels or demons that we all carry with us to help us through a stage in our life or throughout all of our life and fulfill our purpose or mission on earth, the reason why we came here. So once you start to do that, you'll start noticing ideas popping up in your head, or words, or colors, or images, or memories, or a song that pops in your head, different ways that your guides or spirits or beings can communicate. So you need to pay attention to all those things and try to identify what they're trying to say. A lot of them communicate through symbols, through metaphors. So you also need to play detective with this. And for me, it's very fun. I don't know about you, but for me, this is all very fun. I respect it hugely, but for me, it's fun. I enjoy doing this. So it's also important not to take it as a stressful thing or something to fear. You do need to respect it and be careful, but don't be afraid. Just be respectful, as if you were in this conference room with strangers, right? And people who know a lot. So just be respectful, all right? Because you may be talking to different types of beings in your lifetime. But it's important not to be afraid and not to disrespect. So just keep that boundary of respect between that being and yourself, and everything will be just fine, all right? If you're working with deities, I suggest you do your research. You do your research with books. You do your research with people who truly know about these deities. I don't work with deities, but people who work with deities, they specify this type of thing that you need to study. You need to actually learn a lot on how to work with that deity. At the same time, I've noticed that a lot of people, each person has a different experience with a deity, the same deity. So somebody working with Zeus or Odin or Hades, each person has a different experience and a different way of perceiving that energy. So perhaps that deity manifests in a very different way depending on the person or what that person needs to learn or whatever it is. So be mindful of that as well. You can listen to people's experiences with deities because they're all pretty different most of the time. Some are a bit similar, but most of the time are quite different. So pay attention to that, all right? So first, perhaps you could get a bit frustrated when communication is not exactly what you want or what you were expecting. Perhaps it's a bit stronger, perhaps it's a bit more soft or more subtle than what you'd hoped for. So get ready for that. Don't get frustrated, don't get angry at them. Perhaps it's them trying not to scare you, or perhaps you're ready for something more powerful and more obvious, so they present themselves to you. But most of the times they don't want to scare you, they want to help you. So scaring you won't do any good for them or for yourself, so they won't do that. So it's important to just go with the flow, do your meditation, try to cleanse your aura, try to cleanse your chakras, try to see what helps you connect easier, like enhancers, like crystals, incenses, etc. You need to sort of discover what works for you, because what works for me is very different from what works for you. I'm here telling from what I read and my own personal experience of connecting with my guides and different beings. So just get ready for anything and everything. Also, if you learn to read the energies of your guides and beings, you can detect easier with time which energy is there for good, which energy is not your guide, and which energies need to go and which energies come to teach you something, or which energies are just neutral and just passing by, because it happens a lot as well. So it's all about practice. It's all about practice and having fun with it and learning about it, and each day learning something new, and you'll see how many doors open up for you. Your intuition will sort of be more powerful day by day, the more you are more consciously using it. It develops easier. So you'll notice that as well. And it will come a day in which you'll say, why didn't I do this earlier? Well, we are all conditioned. We're all taught a system of beliefs, right? Before we even learn to to speak properly. So don't worry about it. It's all about reprogramming your brain and what you've been taught all your life. Don't feel stressed. It can be harder for some people due to the belief system that was imposed on them. So don't stress yourself too much. Just open yourself up. Day by day, open a little bit more. Get curious, learn a little bit more about this, a little bit more about that. Learn about all religions, all belief systems, and create your own system. create your own system with your guides. And the best teachers of your life will be your guides. The best life teachers are your guides, your angels, your protectors and warriors. So pay attention to them. They will help you get rid of all the people you don't need in your life and all the situations you don't need in your life, and actually take you to the path you're supposed to be, the path of happiness, the path where you'll be most happy, surrounded with the right people. It will come a time as well in which you will feel completely alone, because your own life, your own guides will take out all the people that are not helping you grow or helping you take the path that is meant for you, the path of victory and greatness. So it will come a time in which you'll feel very alone, but you're not alone. As I always say, even when we are showering and pooping, we're not alone. Our guides are always there with us. So you're not alone, and it's important. One of the biggest lessons that we need to learn is that we need to learn how to love ourselves and be with ourselves, and that being okay, that being a good thing, because we need to discover ourselves. We need to see, or sort of remember, the universe that lies within us. All right? You're not just a body. This body is like a car. It's a vehicle to achieve your purpose on earth, whatever that purpose might be, which I don't know. You may find out with your guides when you start developing that communication stronger. It will come with time, and you can ask them anything and they will answer. Then again, be careful with the answers. That's why you need to make sure that your guides are your guides and not any other energy that's coming there to just trick you or say whatever it is to make fun of you or whatever it wants. So learn to identify your guides. Learn to read. Reading energy is like feeling it as your own. That's what I mean by reading the energy. You're feeling it as your own energy, and you're trying to identify what that energy is, and you can relate it to emotions and what that energy makes you feel. That's what I mean by reading, all right? The reading of energies. So identify those energies. Try to see if you feel threatened, if you feel normal, neutral, or if you feel like that is a very powerful and good energy. Learn to read the energies, all right? So that you can detect your guides and learn to differentiate your guides from other beings. It's very important. All right, so that's the basic thing of communicating with your guides. You can use the enhancers like a crystal, a stone, a rock from your garden even, as some sort of focal point to concentrate on that communication with your being, all right? Learn how to do that without the stones or enhancers. But perhaps if you're starting with all of this, you may want to use something to focus on to actually start developing that connection, all right? But your guides are always there. They are always there, whether you communicate with them or not. They are always there. They might communicate with you in dreams as well. So, well, in dreams, it's a bit more metaphorical, at least in my case. It's a bit more metaphorical when I get messages in dreams. It's not that clear. I need to decipher it a little bit before I can understand the message. But for you, perhaps it's different. I'm a different person from you, all right? So you need to find out what's up. You need to find out what works for you and what's the best way your guides communicate with you. All right, so have fun with it. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid. Enjoy the process and the magnitude, how big life is, right? Bigger than what we are seeing now. And we are bigger, so much bigger ourselves, even though we are just living in this tiny body in a floating rock in space, right? In a galaxy from billions and trillions of other galaxies and universes. It's beautiful. For me, it's beautiful. It's very deep, but it's beautiful. So that's the message of today, people. Learn how to communicate with your guides. Learn how to communicate with them, because they will take you to the path where you need to be and where you'll find the happiness that you're looking for. All right? That's the message of today, people. Blessings, and until next time.